Before cities and empires, we were wanderers on this pale blue dot. Our journey began in flickering firelight, painting stories on cave walls. As tools evolved from stone to bronze, so did we. Now, gaze upon the wonders of ancient civilizations. Pyramids, ziggurats, great walls. This is humanity's greatest journey, written in the stars and etched in stone. In the vast tapestry of Earth's history, the emergence of humanity is but a recent thread. Yet it is a thread woven with remarkable transformations. These footprints, etched into the Earth over 3 million years ago, belong to an early hominin species. Their discovery marked a pivotal moment in understanding our evolutionary journey. Lucy, as she was affectionately named, stood just over a metre tall. Her skeletal remains revealed a creature adept at both climbing trees and walking upright, a significant adaptation in a changing environment. Climate fluctuations transformed lush forests into expansive grasslands. In this new terrain, bipedalism offered advantages, the ability to traverse long distances and spot potential predators or food sources over tall grasses. With hands freed from locomotion, our ancestors began manipulating objects, leading to the creation of rudimentary tools. These implements, though simple, marked the dawn of technology. Enter Homo habilis, aptly named handy man. This species exhibited a larger brain capacity and a greater aptitude for tool-making, signaling a leap in cognitive abilities. Building upon these advancements, Homo erectus mastered the use of fire. Fire provided warmth, protection, and a means to cook food, which in turn led to better nutrition and further brain development. Around these communal fires, social bonds strengthened. Communication became more complex, laying the groundwork for language, a tool as vital as any stone implement. Armed with these innovations, early humans began migrating out of Africa. They ventured into new territories, adapting to diverse climates and encountering other hominin species along the way. In Europe and Asia, they met Neanderthals and Denisovans, cousins in the human family tree. Interactions ranged from competition to interbreeding, leaving genetic legacies that persist today. As Homo sapiens evolved, so did their capacity for abstract thought. They began creating art, burying their dead with rituals, and developing cultures rich in symbolism. From humble beginnings on the African plains to the vast diversity of cultures today, the journey of humanity is a testament to adaptability, innovation, and the enduring quest to understand our place in the cosmos. In the grand tapestry of Earth's history, the emergence of Homo marks a pivotal moment. But it was not simply our arrival that set us on a unique trajectory. It was the burgeoning capacity for innovation, the ability to manipulate the environment in ways no other creature had before. Among these groundbreaking achievements, the mastery of tools and fire stands as a monumental leap, propelling our distant ancestors from the delicate balance of survival towards a path of increasing dominance. This is the story of how early humans began to shape their world, one stone and one flame at a time. The journey began with the most fundamental of resources, stone. Millions of years ago, early hominins, even before the emergence of our own genus Homo, likely used naturally sharp stones for tasks like breaking open nuts or scavenging meat. But around 2.6 million years ago, a significant cognitive leap occurred. Hominins, particularly those we classify as Homo habilis, meaning handy man, began to intentionally shape stone. Recognizing that a deliberately created sharp edge could mean the difference between a meager existence and a more substantial meal, they embarked on a journey of technological innovation. With carefully aimed strikes, using one stone as a hammer and another as the core, they transformed ordinary rocks into instruments of purpose. These weren't just random breaks, they were deliberate acts of creation. These early tools, belonging to what archaeologists call the Oldowan tool industry, were relatively simple. primarily choppers, rounded stones with a roughly sharpened edge and sharp flakes. These tools served a variety of crucial functions. They allowed early humans to effectively scavenge meat from carcasses left by larger predators, to break open bones to access nutrient-rich marrow, and to process tough plant materials. Over time, these tools evolved. The development of the Acheulean tool industry, associated with Homo erectus, marked a significant advancement. These tools, appearing around 1.7 million years ago, were more refined, more standardized, and more versatile. The iconic hand axe, a teardrop-shaped tool with sharp edges, became a hallmark of this era. Scrapers for cleaning hides and points that could be used for hunting or preparing food further demonstrate a growing intellect and an increasing adaptability to diverse environments. Each advancement is a silent testament to the growing cognitive abilities of our ancestors, their capacity for problem-solving, and their ability to pass on learned skills across generations. Then, perhaps a million years ago, came another revolution. A harnessing of a force that was both awe-inspiring and potentially terrifying: fire. Not merely a source of warmth against the African chill, but a fundamental shift in how early humans interacted with their world. While the earliest interactions with fire might have been opportunistic, perhaps collecting embers from natural wildfires caused by lightning strikes, the ability to control and maintain fire marked a profound turning point. Homo erectus is widely considered the first hominin to achieve this mastery, an achievement evidenced by archaeological sites containing burnt bones and ash deposits dating back hundreds of thousands of years. The control of fire transformed early human diets in fundamental ways. Cooking made food more digestible, unlocking nutrients that were previously inaccessible. It also significantly reduced the risk of foodborne illnesses by killing harmful bacteria and parasites. Fire extended the usable hours of the day, illuminating the darkness and allowing for activity and social interaction long after the sun had set. It provided a crucial defense against nocturnal predators, offering a circle of safety in a dangerous world. Around the flickering flames of the hearth, something profound began to happen. Communities were forged, social bonds were strengthened, and the sharing of food and stories likely played a vital role in the development of communication and perhaps even the early stages of language. The hearth became a central gathering place, a focal point for early human social life. With the combined power of tools and fire, early humans didn't just survive the challenges of their environment, they began to actively shape it and to express something beyond mere necessity. Art emerged, etched onto the walls of caves using pigments derived from the earth. These early artistic expressions, often depicting animals or hunting scenes, signal a burgeoning consciousness, a capacity for symbolic thought, and a desire to communicate beyond the limitations of simple vocalizations. The creation of symbolic artifacts like beads made from shells or bones further underscores this growing complexity of thought and behavior. Armed with the transformative innovations of tools and fire, our ancestors were no longer bound to the familiar landscapes of their origins. They ventured beyond the horizons of Africa, embarking on incredible journeys of exploration and adaptation. They braved new terrains, from scorching deserts to colder, more temperate regions, utilizing their tools to exploit new resources and their mastery of fire to provide warmth and protection. These early migrations, driven by a combination of environmental pressures and perhaps an innate curiosity, left indelible marks on every continent they touched, laying the foundation for the global distribution of humanity. The legacy of the mastery of tools and fire is deeply etched into our very being. These weren't just fleeting inventions, they were fundamental breakthroughs that fundamentally altered the course of human evolution. They are not merely relics of a distant past, locked away in museum displays, but the very foundations upon which our present civilization is built. From the simplest stone tool to the most advanced technology, From the comforting warmth of a hearth to the power of industrial furnaces, the echoes of those early innovations resonate through time, illuminating the remarkable path from our humble beginnings to the complex world we inhabit now. They remind us of our innate capacity for ingenuity and our enduring ability to shape our destiny. In the grand narrative of human history, a chapter of unparalleled adventure unfolds. A saga of exploration driven by an innate curiosity, fueled by incredible resilience and marked by profound transformation. This is the epic story of the great human migration, the journey of how our Homo sapiens ancestors, originating from the heart of Africa, embarked on a monumental odyssey to inhabit every habitable corner of the globe. It's a testament to our species' adaptability, our relentless spirit of discovery, and the deep connection we share as a single human family. Approximately 300,000 years ago, amidst the diverse and fertile landscapes of East Africa, Homo sapiens emerged. This wasn't a sudden event, but a gradual process of evolution, building upon the foundations laid by earlier hominin ancestors. For countless generations, these early humans thrived in their ancestral homeland, honing their cognitive abilities, developing intricate social structures, and deepening their understanding of the natural world around them. Archaeological sites across East Africa, from Ethiopia to Tanzania and Kenya, offer glimpses into their lives, revealing the earliest expressions of what it means to be human. These early Homo sapiens were not just surviving, they were innovating. They developed increasingly sophisticated tools, moving beyond the simpler technologies of earlier hominins. The Middle Stone Age saw the creation of specialized tools like spear points, scrapers and awls, crafted using techniques like the Levallois method, demonstrating advanced planning and skill. They skillfully harnessed the power of fire, not just for warmth and cooking, but potentially for driving game and shaping their environment. And crucially, they formed intricate social bonds, cooperating in hunting, sharing resources, and transmitting knowledge across generations. These advancements in technology, social organization, and cognitive ability laid the essential foundation for survival and set the stage for the extraordinary journeys that lay ahead. Around 100,000 years ago, a significant shift began, driven by a complex interplay of factors, perhaps population growth, environmental changes, or simply the innate human spirit to explore the unknown. Small groups of Homo sapiens started venturing beyond Africa's familiar horizons. One of the earliest known routes of migration took them northeastwards, across the Sinai Peninsula, the land bridge that connects Africa to Asia. This initial foray into new territories marked the beginning of a global dispersal that would unfold over tens of thousands of years. The caves of Kafse and Skul, located in present-day Israel, hold remarkable evidence of these early human explorers. Here, archaeologists have unearthed the remains of modern humans dating back to this period, around 100,000 years ago. What makes these sites particularly fascinating is that these early Homo sapiens coexisted with Neanderthals, another human species that had already inhabited Europe and parts of Asia for hundreds of thousands of years. These two distinct human groups shared landscapes, resources, and, as we now know, even genes. Genetic evidence, gleaned from the analysis of ancient DNA, reveals that interbreeding occurred between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals during these early encounters in the Levant and later in Europe. This intermingling left a lasting legacy, with the DNA of many humans alive today containing a small percentage of Neanderthal ancestry. These interactions highlight a complex relationship between our species and our close evolutionary cousins, a relationship that likely involved both cooperation and competition. Parallel to this northern exodus, other groups of early Homo sapiens embarked on a southern journey, following the coastlines of the Arabian Peninsula. This route, now partially submerged due to rising sea levels since the last ice age, would have provided access to a rich array of marine resources, shellfish, fish, and other coastal life. These early coastal migrants were pioneers, utilizing their ingenuity to navigate new terrains and exploit the bounty of the sea. Archaeological sites like Dwalapuram in India provide compelling evidence of human habitation along this southern coastal route, dating back approximately 75,000 years. The tools discovered at these sites showcase the adaptability and resilience of these early migrants, demonstrating their ability to thrive in diverse environments far from their African origins. This southern route likely served as a key pathway for the rapid dispersal of Homo sapiens across Asia. By around 65,000 years ago, a truly remarkable feat of human ingenuity and exploration occurred. Homo sapiens had reached Southeast Asia and astonishingly crossed significant stretches of open sea to settle in Australia. This transoceanic journey, requiring the construction and navigation of rafts or simple boats, underscores the advanced cognitive abilities and seafaring capabilities of these early humans. It represents one of the earliest examples of our species venturing into completely new and isolated land masses. In Australia, these pioneering humans encountered unique ecosystems and a fascinating array of megafauna giant kangaroos, the rhino-sized Diprotodon, and the formidable thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger. They adapted their lifestyles to these new environments, developing new hunting techniques and utilizing the resources available on this vast and isolated continent. The arrival of humans in Australia had a profound impact, eventually contributing to the extinction of many of its iconic megafaunal species. The journey into Europe presented a different set of challenges. Around 45,000 years ago, as the Earth was in the grip of the last ice age, early Homo sapiens ventured into a continent characterized by dense forests, harsh icy climates and formidable predators, including cave bears and woolly rhinoceroses. They also encountered established Neanderthal populations, leading to further interactions and interbreeding. Yet, despite these obstacles, our ancestors persevered, driven by the same spirit of exploration and adaptation that had propelled their predecessors across the globe. Recent discoveries in the caves beneath a medieval castle in Ranis, Germany, have provided fascinating insights into the lives of some of the earliest Europeans. Scientists have unearthed 45,000-year-old human remains and stone tools at this site, pushing back the timeline of Homo sapiens' arrival in this part of Europe and offering valuable clues about their adaptations to the cold climate and their interactions with the environment. In Europe, the interactions between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals continued, shaping the genetic and cultural landscape of the continent. Evidence suggests that these two human species not only coexisted, but also exchanged knowledge and technologies, further enriching the genetic tapestry of modern humans. The eventual disappearance of Neanderthals remains a subject of ongoing scientific debate, but the arrival and success of Homo sapiens in Europe played a significant role in this transition. The final major chapter in this epic migration was the peopling of the Americas. Around 20,000 years ago, during the last glacial maximum, vast amounts of water were locked up in ice sheets, causing global sea levels to drop dramatically. This exposed the Bering Land Bridge, a vast grassy expanse connecting Siberia in Asia to Alaska in North America. Seizing this opportunity, intrepid groups of Homo sapiens, likely following herds of large game like woolly mammoths and bison, ventured into uncharted territories. This marked the beginning of human presence in the New World, opening up two vast continents for exploration and settlement. Archaeological sites like Monteverde in Chile, dating back approximately 14,500 years, provide compelling evidence of early human settlements in South America. The presence of these ancient sites so far south suggests a rapid expansion and adaptation of humans throughout the Americas, demonstrating their remarkable ability to thrive in diverse climates and landscapes. From the ancient savannas of Africa to the icy plains of Siberia, the sun-drenched beaches of Australia, the forested heart of Europe, and the towering peaks of the Andes in the Americas, the journey of Homo sapiens is an unparalleled testament to resilience, innovation, and the unyielding human desire to explore the unknown. This great migration, unfolding over tens of thousands of years, wove a rich and complex tapestry of cultures, languages, and traditions, ultimately shaping the world we know today. It reminds us that despite our incredible diversity, we are all connected by a shared ancestry and a common journey that began in the heart of Africa. A journey that continues to unfold with each passing generation. The epic journey of human migration, which we traced in our previous segment, was not a random scattering across the globe. It was a dynamic dance, intricately interwoven with the ever-changing rhythms of Earth's climate. As the last great ice age drew to a close, the planet underwent a period of profound environmental transformation, setting the stage for a new chapter in human history, the dawn of settled life and the very foundations of civilization. Around 11,700 years ago, the Earth emerged from the grip of the Pleistocene epoch and entered the Holocene, the relatively warm and stable period we still inhabit today. The massive ice sheets that had covered vast swathes of the northern hemisphere began their final, dramatic retreat. This wasn't a gradual thaw. It involved periods of rapid warming interspersed with cooler spells, creating a dynamic and sometimes unpredictable environment for our ancestors. The impact of these shifting climates on early human populations was immense. Rising sea levels reshaped coastlines, forcing communities to relocate. Changes in temperature and rainfall patterns altered vegetation zones and the distribution of animal life, impacting traditional hunting grounds and the availability of wild plant resources. For nomadic hunter-gatherer groups, adaptability was paramount. We see evidence of this constant movement and adaptation in the archaeological record. Sites that were once rich hunting grounds might become less viable as the climate changed, prompting people to seek out new territories where resources were more abundant. The Younger Dryas, a relatively cold period that interrupted the overall warming trend around 12,900 to 11,700 years ago, likely caused further disruptions, forcing some communities to find new strategies for survival. But within these environmental pressures lay the seeds of a revolutionary transformation. For millennia, Homo sapiens had thrived as highly mobile hunter-gatherers, their lives dictated by the seasonal availability of wild resources. However, as the climate stabilized in the early Holocene, certain regions began to offer more predictable and abundant resources, creating opportunities for a different way of life. Around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, in various parts of the world, we begin to see evidence of a gradual shift towards more settled lifestyles. These early settlements were often located near reliable water sources, in areas with a natural abundance of wild plants and animals, or in defensible positions. These weren't necessarily permanent villages in the modern sense, but rather semi-permanent camps that were occupied for longer periods, indicating a growing attachment to specific locations. One of the most significant regions for this transition was the Fertile Crescent in the Middle East, a crescent-shaped area stretching from the eastern Mediterranean coast through Mesopotamia to the Persian Gulf. Here, the relatively stable and favorable climate, coupled with the presence of wild ancestors of many of our staple crops, provided the ideal conditions for a profound change. The domestication of plants and animals. The domestication of plants was a gradual process, likely starting with the unintentional selection of wild grains with desirable traits. Over time, humans began to actively cultivate these plants, clearing land, sowing seeds, and tending to their growth. This marked the birth of agriculture, a revolutionary innovation that allowed humans to produce their own food in a more reliable and concentrated manner. Simultaneously, humans began to domesticate animals. The dog was likely one of the first animals to be domesticated, perhaps evolving from wolves that scavenged near human settlements. Later came the domestication of sheep, goats, and pigs, providing reliable sources of meat, milk, and hides. This close relationship with domesticated animals further solidified the shift towards settled life, as these animals needed to be cared for and protected. The adoption of agriculture had a profound and far-reaching impact on human society. It led to increased food security, allowing for larger and more stable populations. With a surplus of food, not everyone needed to be directly involved in hunting or gathering. This led to the development of more complex social structures and the beginnings of the division of labor, with individuals specializing in different tasks. The establishment of permanent dwellings became increasingly common. No longer needing to follow migrating herds or the seasonal availability of wild plants, people built more substantial and permanent homes. This investment in fixed locations fostered a sense of place and community, laying the groundwork for the development of villages and eventually larger settlements. The ability to produce and store food also led to the accumulation of surplus resources. This surplus could be used for trade with other communities, fostering economic exchange and the spread of new ideas and technologies. We see the emergence of new crafts and technologies, such as pottery for storing food and liquids, and the development of woven textiles for clothing and shelter. These innovations further enhanced the quality of life and contributed to the growing complexity of early human societies. It's important to remember that this transition to settled life and agriculture didn't happen overnight, nor did it occur uniformly across the globe. Different regions adopted these practices at different times and in different ways, influenced by local environmental conditions and the specific plants and animals available for domestication. But the overall trend was clear. Humanity was on a new path, one that would fundamentally alter our relationship with the planet. Even as humans began to exert more control over their food supply, climate continued to play a significant role. Periods of prolonged drought or favorable rainfall could lead to prosperity or hardship for early agricultural communities. Evidence suggests that climate fluctuations may have even contributed to the rise and fall of some of these early societies, highlighting the enduring connection between human civilization and the natural world. As we reflect on this pivotal period in human history, we can see the remarkable journey our ancestors undertook. From the early hominins of Africa to the mobile hunter-gatherers who spread across the globe, and now to these early pioneers who began to cultivate the land and build permanent homes, humanity had reached a crucial turning point. The seeds of civilization had been sown, nurtured by a more stable climate and the ingenuity of the human mind. But the story doesn't end here. The development of settled life and agriculture provided the foundation for even more profound transformations. In our next episode, we will delve into the cognitive leap that occurred as human societies became more complex, exploring the rise of art, sophisticated language, organized religion, and the further development of the intricate tapestry of human culture. Join us as we continue to unravel the epic history of humankind.